Ladies and gentlemen, can I have your attention please, the Captain Irene and President George. It was a great weekend for George. He's a marvellous president and a long-serving member of the club. So I'm privileged to be captain when George was president in his year. But I'd like to hand you over to his vice president to say a few words. Massey Stack.
Mr. Captain, Lady Captain, Mr. President, Junior Captain, ladies and gentlemen, and special welcome also to George's family, Bernadette, we know her better as Bear, and her daughter Quiva, Mary, Kira and Eva, and John. You're all very welcome here this evening to the presentation prize. George joined Newcastle West Golf Club, it's over 50 years ago. And when he joined Newcastle West Golf Club, it was coming towards the end of his hurling career. And unfortunately I didn't have the privilege of seeing George play, but I believe he was very skillful and very committed on the hurling field. And he has won 7 county medals in the hurling field, 2 with Western Gales and 5 with Adair. So that's some achievement in itself. And when he joined Newcastle West Golf Club, he brought that skill and commitment and competitiveness to the golf course. And he reliably informs me that he's constantly collecting €5 with his regular 4-ball, Tom Hogan and John Coleman and Joe Hayes. So he's still very competitive and skillful on the golf course. When George was in Kildare, he served on several committees, and he got his just reward in 1983 when he became captain. And after that, when we moved from Kildare out here to Rathbones in '94, George was the first supervisor on the course for over 4 years here. First 4 years when we came out. And during that 4 years, George used his time very well, actually, to get a very good knowledge of the golf course. The whole layout of the golf course, the manholes that are out there, the natural springs, and particularly the drainage. And he has a vast bank of knowledge about all the drains out there. And not just the ones that we know, the ones we're inside in there every time we play golf, but the actual small drains that lead into the main drains. And I remember one day last January when I was out here, the course was in a very wet state. There was no golf, but I just drove into the car park and I met George coming off the golf course. He was after walking the 18 holes, checking every drain out there to make sure they were all working. And that's the kind of a person that George is. He does an amount of work in the background. You don't know the amount of work that George does for the club. He doesn't seek recognition or praise, or he doesn't want his name up on lights or anything like that. He's quiet, he goes away, he does his work and does it diligently. And I'm honoured to be George's vice president. He's a great man to work with. Not alone do we have 2 great days, yesterday and today, but we've had a great couple of months together and a couple of years on committees and serving on committees, and he's a very good committee man and he's an excellent club man. And it's true testament to him over the last 2 days. If you look at the timesheet on Saturday and Sunday, there wasn't one space available. And I think that's true recognition to a wonderful president. And I congratulate you. I would like now to call on George to say a few words before the presentation prizes.
Mr. Captain, Lady Captains, Lady President, I'm honoured to be made President of this club, which is a great honour, and I want to thank Tommy Keller for asking me to be his vice. I don't know whether he can hear me or not, but you're getting an opening. 52 years ago since I joined, there was a lot we not born even with that. That had changed since. I could go back to Kildare and tell you a few stories. I remember being in Kildare and we had a small tractor which I bought. I didn't buy it, but I bought it at Nash's for 640. You wouldn't buy the wheel for it. We had a tractor, a triplex, a budget, and a flag motor. That was the total machinery we had in Newcastle one time. But when I asked anybody to come in that time, I after had up to 20 hand mowers when it came to the Captain's Prize. And I got there, which was fantastic. You know, that was the way that dog was. Anyway. Now, in 1957, I think, 67 people played in the President's Prize. We had 200 players in all then, which is fantastic. We had Jim King, which was something else, 86. He was out played 18 holes there. And Jimmy Gale, another man. But he was over 80 years anyway to me, so I was delighted to see the two out there. Now, you run a club, I said, and you must have a committee. We have a committee at that, and I don't think anybody knows the work that went in. Alone this week, that was 3 meetings, and most of the same people are here every night in those meetings. Competition secretary, the treasurer of the whole lot, but the work they put in is unbelievable. Massey, what do I say about Massey? Massey is by your side the whole time. Fantastic, he's there for the last 2 days, non-stop. Massey, I want to thank you.
Thank you.
I was disappointed now. Reverend Tony, he came in here yesterday evening and he says to me, fuck it, he says, there should be a prize for representing. And Tony had a 71, he was second yesterday evening. Thanks to Bell staff. Keep looking at me, I helped him out. And the horse workers, I'd like to thank him as well. They did a great job, I think. That's all. Okay. I lived out in Eden and Devon. I need someone out no matter what. There's more to say now. Only I must congratulate Paul on his great score, 64. So I'll hand you over now and try to give him. Yeah. Okay.
Just as George mentioned, Father Tony Milan, we all know Father Tony, he's a character. And he was here yesterday and we were here around 9 o'clock and things were a bit quiet, there wasn't that many around. And he said, where is everybody? And I said, they're probably at Mass. And he said, I hope they give to the collection. So we'll start with the ladies' prize, 9-hole stroke, and the winner is Caroline Murphy. The past President's Prize, winning off a handicap of 13 with a score of 73, Maurice McAuliffe.
Morris? Georgie?
Category C, laying off a 23 with a score of 71, John Hogan. Category B, sends his apologies. It's John Maloney, playing off a 13 with a score of 68. Category A, playing off of 9 with a score of 70, Danny O'Shea. In third place, playing off a handicap of 7 with a score of 67, Brian Hickey.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, I have to say a couple of words because Georgie Shire is a great family friend of ours, the Hickeys. We're all from Kilfinny, and there's lovely things being said about Georgie tonight. He was a great holder, he was a good golfer, but he was actually a better dancer. That man, himself and my father were playing back in the 50s, going to the show bands, and they danced 7 nights of the week. And I tell you, there was no better dancer than Georgie Shire. They were queuing up to dance with him. And he told me a lovely story a couple of years ago. His lovely daughter Bernadette and himself were going to Dublin at a function in a hotel, and Georgie had fantastic music coming from the other side of the hotel, and it was ballroom music, it was his music. But it was a black tie affair, and Georgie had a navy suit on in the tie, and the bouncer didn't want to let her in, and Georgie pleaded to go in for one dance, and that crowd of people, after a bit, when they saw Georgie and Bernadette dancing, they created a circle around them, and they clapped them all night as they danced, and that's Georgie Shire.
Thank you, Brian. Best scores, the super score, 1 over par, 72, playing off a 6, Shane Scanlon. In second place, playing off of a handicap of 8, score of 65, Liam O'Sullivan. And the winner, he started this year with a goal, and that was to finish the year on single figures. And what a way to do it by winning the President's Prize. Playing off a handicap of 10 with a score of 64, Paul Brosnan.
Firstly, can I just say big congratulations to George on your year as president. And I'd also like to wish Mossy the best for next year. As for today, I'd like to thank my playing partners, John Hogan and Liam Keane. The course was in brilliant condition. And I think I started playing golf about 35 years ago on the Garryowen Green, tempering goalposts. And they taught you how to hit the ball straight, because if you didn't, you broke the window. But if you didn't break the window, it also helps your soccer because you went to run very fast. So playing today in a wide open space, as it just clicked today for me. And I'm just delighted to win George's play. Thank you.